morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. And welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reacting to and kind of breaking down People Under the Stairs, which was done in 1991. I believe it's a Wes Craven film. I actually never checked, but I watched this like back when it came out. And I believe it was a Wes Craven film. Now, full disclosure, I did not recall much about the movie. I remember the guy they called Daddy walking around in like this leather daddy buckle thing outfit that was like head to toe, and yeah, it was a memory. And I remember thinking it was kind of an odd movie, but other than that, I really didn't remember much about it at all. But it came up in a live stream. I believe it was a live stream, or the comment section. I can't remember. I think it was live stream. And somebody had suggested it or brought it up, or we were talking about, I don't know, whatever the hell we were talking about. And this movie did come up in the course of conversation. And I thought, geez, you know, like I have not seen that movie since it came out. So here we are. So we're gonna jump in, strap in, get a snack, get a water, or whatever beverage of choice. This might be a long one. I think my notes are about 5.5 pages. Like it was. There's a reason why this video is getting out so late. It is currently 20 to 6 on Friday. This should have been up at 1 o'clock, but listen, your girl got busy. Birthday stuff for the monkey and listen, it's been nuts. Okay, so let's jump right on in. The movie begins with a young woman named Ruby telling her little brother Poindexter Fool, I believe the last name was Williams, and can I just say points in 1991 for naming a kid Poindexter and then giving him the nickname of Fool. I love it. Anyway, she's telling him a story with her tarot cards. She shows him the Fool card and tells him it's got his nickname, to which he is so impressed. Like, he just loves his nickname, let me tell you. She tells him he is not the stupid kind of fool, but the ignorant kind, because he's so young and he's just starting out in life. Ruby goes on to explain that according to the Fool card, when there is trouble ahead, there are two choices. One, take the easy way out, or like, you know, walk right into the trouble kind of deal. Well, or two, do the hard work to get out of the troubled situation. We come to find that Fool and Ruby's mom is sick with cancer, but can't afford the treatment or rent. The family is the last to remain in this particular building. And on top of everything else, Fool learns that they are being evicted by like midnight or something the next day. Also, that the landlords don't care about his family, they just want the money for tearing down the building. While talking to Leroy, who seems to be Ruby's pimp, the best that I can tell. And actually the actor that plays Leroy he plays the gangster guy in Pulp Fiction. I can't remember his character's name, but yeah. And Ruby, I recognize the actress who plays Ruby. I don't recognize her name, and I don't recall it. I didn't write it down. But her voice is ridiculously familiar to me, but I cannot place her voice anywhere. Anyways, Fool is asked if he wants to make some money so that he may be able to help his family. The next we meet I believe it's pronounced Robsons, who are seemingly a married couple, and their daughter Alice. Mama and Daddy, as we know them as, are discussing Fool's building and their plans to build condos and having clean people living there and having lots of money. Alice expresses concern for the people her parents are kicking out of their homes, but is told to speak when spoken to. That's what good girls do. Oddly enough, she's told this by Mama. Back at the apartment, Leroy tells Ruby and Fool that he found a treasure map last night in the back of a liquor store that he and a guy named Spencer robbed. There was a letter addressed to the owner and the name of his company, explaining further that the name of the company is the same as the name of on the eviction notice. The guy who owns the liquor store owns the building that they are in, along with half the buildings in the neighborhood. Leroy wants to take Fool with him and Spencer to rob the landlord's house and take these gold coins that they're supposed to have. Even though Ruby has heard things about the Robsons, I don't know how to pronounce it. Fool just wants to make his mom well and keep his family safe and housed, right? And just to be clear, the people that are kicking everybody out of their homes and whatever, is in fact the Robsons. We're going to call them Mama and Daddy, okay? Because I cannot pronounce the last name. Meanwhile, back at the house of the name I can't say, Mama is intimidating Alice as she forces a dress on her. And I mean like forces this girl to put this dress on. Like this woman is horrible. As she starts to leave Alice's room with the dinner plates, she notices that a fork is missing, and Alice becomes terrified and is frantically looking around the floor for these forks. And she's like kind of behind her bed, if that makes sense. Like there's where you come in and where Mama is standing, and then her bed, and then her, and then the wall, right? It's a large bedroom. As Mama gets more threatening, we see a hand come through Alice's vent and give her the fork. She gives the hand a quick squeeze before jumping up and handing Mama the fork. Daddy joins up in Alice's room, telling Mama that the liquor store was robbed again. He says that he's very tense. He is so creepy. This prompts Mama to tell him that Alice has been bad, that she's been feeding that thing between the walls again. Then tells Daddy not to bruise her face. And in the background, we hear faint wailing. It's so creepy. The guy who's doing Daddy is unbelievably creepy. I mean, he's cheesy and corny as fuck, but also creepy. Like, creepy. Spencer and Leroy are slowly driving around, and Fool approaches the house that shall not be named, dressed like a Boy Scout. When no one answers the door, he takes a moment to toss some rocks in a puddle or a water feature. I think it's like a pond or something. As we see Alice looking down at him from an upstairs window. Mama suddenly appears, and as Fool asks if she'd like to buy some cookies, he is quickly turned down. When she goes back in the house, Fool notices a bunch of deadbolts over all the windows. Not deadbolts, they're padlocks. They're padlocks, and like these great big like I don't know, like iron screens or something that are locked from the outside of the house. Spencer and Leroy pick him up, and Fool tells them about the wired windows and padlocks on the outside, which everyone thinks is strange. Spencer says he wants to see, but Leroy says there's no need, and that they're going to hit the house on Sunday as planned. This was recon, okay? They were trying to get like a sense of the property, and if Fool could have gotten in the house, they wanted to know about like alarm systems and that kind of thing, right? Spencer insists, saying he won't go until he knows about alarms, so he goes to try and get in. Mama lets him in. He says he's with the gas company. We can see she is not falling for it. She is so on to him. She's crazy. She's not stupid. When Leroy and Fool see someone leave the house and don't see or hear from Spencer, the two decide to go and check things out for themselves. While looking around for Spencer, they eventually find his body. Like, they kind of separate, and Leroy goes upstairs, and Spencer ends up down in the cellar. He hears noises and whimpering and stuff, and finds his way down into the cellar, where he finds Spencer. And it kind of looks like he's been scared to death. Like, his hair is all white, and he's very chalky looking, and we also see that his hand is all icky and not doing well, and he is in fact dead. They find his body as well as a group of very pale children in this cellar. When the Robsons, whatever, return, Fool runs away, while Leroy is shot to death by Daddy. They have this whole setup with like a control panel where they can lock windows and doors, and like security things shut, and it's a whole thing. The house is wired, and they can get through the house through the walls and come out through like cupboards, and it's the strangest. It's kind of cool, but really, really strange. As Fool flees through the house, he runs into Alice. She explains to him that the people under the stairs were children that broke the see, hear, and speak no evil rules of the household. The children have devolved into cannibalism to survive. And Alice has avoided their fate by obeying the rules of the house. She also tells him of a boy named Roach whose tongue was cut out as punishment for calling out for help. And the guy who plays Roach, I do believe, was the guy in The Matrix, the little blonde guy. I think they called him Mouse or something. If I can find a picture of him, I'll show you. Roach avoids the Robinsons, Mama and Daddy, by hiding in the walls. Once Daddy finds Fool, he tosses him in with the cannibalistic kids, but Roach helps him to escape. Unfortunately, Roach is hurt. He's mortally injured, okay? And as he dies, he gives Fool a small bag of gold coins and a written plea to save Alice. Fool finds Alice, and the two escape into the passageways between the walls. Daddy releases his good boy. He's got a Rottweiler. He's precious. I think his name is Prince. Into the walls to kill them. Fool tricks Daddy into killing the good boy, and it was very sad because he was a very good boy. He didn't mean it. He was doing what his daddy told him to. And he and Alice get to the attic where they find a window. Alice is too scared to jump, which forces Fool to escape on his own. However, he promises to come back for her. And he escapes by going out the window, sliding down the roof, and he ends up sort of fall jumping into that pond water feature that he was skipping rocks in earlier. Fool finds out he has enough gold to pay for his mom's surgery, as well as 10 years worth of rent. He also learns that Mama and Daddy are not really husband and wife. They are brother and sister. Yep. That they came from a long line of inbred family members who built their fortune by running a funeral home, selling cheap coffins at extremely high prices. And in later years, they switched over to the real estate business. Fool reports Mama and Daddy to child services. And as the police investigate, Fool sneaks back in and tells Alice she is not their daughter. She'd been kidnapped at birth, as well as were all the other children in the basement. Mama finds out that Alice knows the truth and believes Fool has turned her against them, so she tries to kill Alice. However, this was all witnessed by the neighborhood, the evictees of the neighborhood. They had all sort of gathered together to let these people know, listen, we're on to you and we're not taking your shit, right? Like the entire neighborhood is out there. Fool frees the cannibal children, and with Alice's help, they kill Mama. Meanwhile, Daddy finds Fool at the vault as he sets the explosives, like there's explosives like throughout the house, like inside the walls. When Fool escaped, the Daddy went through and put all these explosives through the walls, and then he also drained the water feature and like filled it with glass and shit so that like none of that could be used again. As he sets off the explosives that demolish the house, causing the money and the coins to sort of blow up and out of the crematorium chimney. There is a crematorium in here. I'm not sure if I mentioned that or not, but at some point we see that there's like a crematorium type situation in that basement. There's some creepy shit that goes on in this movie, okay? And it blows up, out, and into the crowd outside. Daddy is killed in the explosion, and Alice and Fool are reunited as the people outside grab up all the money. And the freed children venture into the night. Yeah. And listen, if I can show some of these kids, I will, but I mean, walking around looking the way they look, Jesus Christ, you would think zombies were walking around. It's crazy. This movie was a lot, okay? It was cheesy. It was kind of funny. It was Wes Craven. I mean, listen, I love Wes Craven, don't get me wrong, okay? And I did thoroughly enjoy this movie, but I mean, there were themes in this movie that are creepy as fuck, okay? Don't get me wrong. These brother and sister, mom and daddy thing, okay? The fact that when he dresses up for war, okay, daddy, he's wearing this head to toe leather thing with like buckles everywhere, and I mean, it's just weird as fuck, okay? Like, yeah, cannibal kids left in the basement, like to, like, more or less eat each other to survive. But I mean, in the end, they like work together to get. I think it seems to me that once Daddy killed Roach, that all the other kids sort of woke up, shall we say, and decided that they were going to do what they could to help Fool and Alice, right? That's kind of seems to be what happened. But anyways, it was an interesting movie. I'm glad I revisited it. I did enjoy it. It was a good time, but I'll probably never watch it again. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed this breakdown reaction. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.